Good morning, guys. Welcome to this video, and I hope you're doing super awesome and you're as happy as I am right now. But what we're gonna discuss in this particular video, we're gonna discuss about Git and GitHub. How does it work, and all the basic concepts. How to create a pull request, how to commit, how to see the status, everything. Super cool, right? Trust me, it's gonna be a video to watch, and it will be worth it watching the video. Okay, so the first thing what we'll do is we'll be basically everything what I say is available in GitHub Docs. Awesome place to learn stuff, learn about Git and GitHub. First thing first, let's talk about what is Git and what is GitHub. These are two different things, so don't confuse that Git and GitHub is the same thing. It's very different from each other, right? GitHub is like the Google Drive, right? And Git is basically the version manager for your code, right? So Git is basically the thing which keeps a track of the changes, right? And GitHub is the place where you host your code. There could be different hosts as well. There is GitLab, there's Bitbucket, etc. There's like a lot of these hosting, like code hosting platforms, right? So remember this: GitHub is that, Git is the version control. Okay, so let's start with this. First of all, what I'll do is if you are on Mac, I would recommend install Git. And how do you do that on Mac? Simply homebrew, right? So just go into the just type homebrew Git, right? And there you go. That's the place where you install Git from. Brew install Git. If you're on Windows, there will be directly installer available for Git. If you're on Linux, again, sudo apt get install Git, simple command. So now let's go to desktop, right? And now let's create a dictionary called mygit, and let's go to mygit. Oh wait, mygit. Yeah, cool. So we are on mygit folder, and I hope so this is as visible as I can make it. The first thing what you have to consider is initializing a Git repository. So let's say you want to track all the file changes inside this, which is Git mygit folder. How do you do that? You just hit git init and hit enter. That basically initializes an empty Git repository, exactly what the message says. Next, you need to create some files. So let's actually quickly create some files. So let's say test.js runs. Okay. So I have saved that function. By the way, you can do the same thing with GitHub. I mean, with uh, with VS Code. I'll just okay. So this is a function I have, and if you go to the Git section of GitHub, you'll see that this says there is one change, and if you click on this, this shows you the change, and this is very useful. If you are a programmer, you often need to see the changes, and you can do this using Git. So there's a command called git status. Now you can see that there is one untracked file which is test.js. Now we haven't tracked this file, so it's written use git add command to track this. Simple, right? So you have to say git add and whatever you want to add. So I want to add test.js in this case. And now if I wrote git status, you can see that inside our git repository we have new tracked file which is test.js, right? So great. Now the next thing is how, and once you have made your changes, what you do is you commit your changes, remember. And if you're seeing like this main over here, right, main basically signifies on which branch you are. So there's a command called git branch, and you can see there is no branch available currently, but we'll be creating a branch, don't worry, from the main, right? So by default you are on the main branch, which is this main branch, right? Previously it used to be master, right now it's main, so that's main branch. And you can create a new branch for this, but before that let's commit the changes which you have. It like, let's commit this change. Sorry, let's commit this test.js which we have tracked. So we'll say git commit, and then you can use a flag called -m to give a message to this. So created test function. By the way, there is a way through which you kind of like give names to the function. Now here is something very important. If you get an error like this saying there is something wrong with your config, that means for committing something, by the way this is committed, so you can see one file changes insertion and then just create mode and something like that. But every commit kind of like should have your name and email ID, and that you need to configure. So how will you do that? You can do it globally, you can do it locally. So you can say git config user dot name, right? And then you can say whatever username you want to keep, and then you can say git config user dot email, and then you can say Jay Prakash. Oh, that's not my email, right? So now whatever commit I make will be made by that email ID and by that name which I just provided to this. Great. So now we know that how this is done. So by the way, I can, if you go over here, right, and if you go to this Git and if you go to the commit section, you can see I have one commit created. So it's created test function, and it's created by Jayaprakash Pathak 1 minute ago. That's my name, by the way. And there's a name and there's like all the messages which I gave. So you can see in the history that this is the file, right? I can use git log to see what all commits have I made. Remember the command git log to see the same thing which I was seeing there. This is what it is in the console through the terminal. See, whatever I'm doing with terminal, you can do the same thing with VS Code, but I would recommend that you learn terminal one first. This will help you conceptually uh, be very clear on what commands do and what's the use of every, like, a lot of these things. Press Q to come out of this. Remember, a lot of people get stuck there. So just press Q, which is cool. The next command which we're going to learn about is how to create a new branch out of this main branch. Would explain you like this over here, right? So see how this works. So how this works .txt. So you have, by default, you have a main branch, right? And you can create as many branches as you know in the top level, right? But you can even create branches for other branches. Like you have main branch and you can like branch out from this, and you can say from main, and the name could be anything, right? From main, I'm just giving you to giving you in context. But whatever changes you have, and then you like have your own changes, right? So you have like, the main is also going and you are also going, and then what you can do is you can merge the changes. So you can say, okay, take my changes from main branch to the main branch, and you can do it through a lot of different ways, right? So the way which is very conventional is through creating a PR, which is called pull request, which we'll be learning in a while. So now we have this function, and now we have this, and let's create a new branch. So the way you create a new branch is called, you call git checkout, right? And then you give like -b if you want to create a branch, like a new branch, and then you just name your branch. Conventionally, the convention is you just say feature slash and then name of the feature. So run the test function. So now you can see I have switched to a new branch. I have switched to a new branch which I created, and the name of this branch is feature slash run the test function, right? So great. So we have a new branch, and we can make changes to this new branch. So let's now make few changes. So let's run the test function over here. Great. And now again, if you just say git status, you can see, we have modified the test.js, but we haven't saved it. So let's track this. So let's say git add test.js. By the way, there is another way to track. Let's say you have lots of files and you want to add all the untracked files. So you can do like git dot, which will add all the files, but I wouldn't recommend that. If you have a lot of files, just go to this place and just check one by one what changes have you made. And if you're satisfied, just keep clicking plus. That's what I do from VS Code. But always learn the terminal first before going to VS Code. It will conceptually help you to, visualize and get hold of what GitHub is internally doing for like all those things. So git add, right? And then test.js. Now this will basically track the test.js. And what we can do is we can commit this. So we can commit and we can say tested ran the test function, right, and hold enter. Great. So we have one file, we have 3 insertions and 1 deletion. What do we mean by 3 insertions, 1 deletion? So we inserted three, right, and we removed one line. So this is basically lines. So inserted three lines, removed one lines, in total added two lines. That's what basically it is giving us the information. Great. So we have committed our changes, which is awesome. The next thing what we want to do is basically switched again back to the main branch. So you can use a command called git switch main. That is one way. Git switch feature slash, that is another way. Or you can again use git checkout without the hyphen b. Don't use that because we are not creating a new branch, right? So we have checked out to main, right? We are on the main branch now again. Remember, in the main branch we haven't run the, there's no, we did not run the uh, test function. It is as it is, right? But you can switch the branch from here as well. You can click this and you can say like this is the branch. But in this branch we did run the branch. So you can see we are maintaining two different versions of the code in the same repository. So that's what the version manager is for, maintaining two different versions, right? Now let's create another branch. Let's take the things to next level, right? Get checkout. Okay, but let's first do one thing, right? Let's say I'm done developing the changes in the feature branch and now I want to merge it with the main branch. So there's two ways. You can directly merge it, you can create a PR to merge it, you can rebase it. Like there's a lot of options. We'll be learning about rebasing in a while, but let's learn about merging right now. So you can say git merge, right? And then like which branch do we want to merge? So git merge, and then we say feature slash whatever branch name you have, and you click enter. Remember, there's no like that change, that running the test function was in the was in the feature branch, not in the main branch. So we're merging the feature branch to the main branch. You can see this awesome little thing. Uh, it said that it has merged, automatically merged, right? So it has automatically merged the two changes, and now our main is having all the changes which the feature branches was having, including the changes which were there on the main. Great, amazing. Now we don't want that branch, feature branch, and we want to get rid of it, right? So let's get rid of it. How to delete a branch in Git? You do that using git, right, branch, right, and capital D, right, and then the name of the branch, right, and you hit enter, and you can say deleted branch name, and the branch was deleted. Okay, great. Now let's learn about remotes. What is remotes? Remote is basically your code hosting platform, right? Whatever you use GitHub, you use GitLab, you use Bitbucket. Each of these is basically a code hosting platform. So how you can basically publish this to a code hosting platform? So what I would do is I would simply go to my GitHub right now. So you just go to GitHub and I'll initialize a new repository. I'll name this Git learn Git, right? Something like that. No descriptions, and I will make it private because I don't want everybody to know about my secret little project, my mysterious project. Come on, I clicked the button. It didn't work for the first time. Trust me. Yeah, I'm not lying. Yeah, trust me. I clicked. You saw, right? I clicked. Now, in this page, I would like to zoom it a little bit so that we both could see. Here is something very important. This is the address of your Git. By the way, everything is written over here, but I just want to do it step by step so that we both are clear. So you just need this URL, right? This URL is quite crucial for us. So what I will do is basically uh, I will be basically setting this as a remote. Now I can push this code to GitHub using that remote. Let's see how do we do it. So you say git, and then you say remote, and then you say add, and and then then you basically give the name to the remote. So git remote add origin. Origin is the name, so you can give it anything. You can give your name, your dog's name, your cat's name. It's up to you, but this is the convention to name it origin, the default, you know and you just paste your git address, whatever repository address, and you hit enter. So the magic happens, and now you have git remote hyphen v. Oh, amazing. So we have, for fetching this is there, for pushing this is there, so we have two different remotes. Cool. Again, if I just write git remote, it will say origin. That's the only remote name we have. Great. The next thing what we want to do is basically push this code to this remote, right? By the way, you have your branch name main. I would recommend to name it main. If it is something else, you can even rename this. So you can say git branch, and then give capital M, and then the new name, whatever new name you want to name to your branch. But capital M is basically for renaming the name of your branch. Okay, I misspelled branch there, so don't take care. Do your kindergartens properly, not like me. Do your schoolings properly so that you know the spelling of the branch. What basically, we want to push the changes, right? Let's get rid of Chat GPT. Programmers don't like to see Chat GPT. It gives them pain, right? It gives them pain. It makes them happy, but pain both. It makes them happy because it helps us. They're sad because they think it will replace them someday. It's getting so good. Okay, so great. So as you can see, this is the branch name. So we do not need to run this because we already have the branch name main. So this does not make sense, but this command makes a lot of sense for us, and we'll be understanding what this does. So there's a command called git push hyphen u origin main. Right, and why this main? Because we want to push the main branch. If you want to push a feature branch, name it feature. If you want to push something else, name it something else. But what we want to push is the main branch. So we'll say git push hyphen u origin main, and this asks for a username and a password. So I'll be just typing my email ID over here. Great. So now we have authenticated. You give your password, not mine. Okay, and your email ID, not mine. And now we are authenticated, and this has pushed our changes. You don't trust me? I'll just show you. If you refresh this, you can see our test, our very little function test dot is on GitHub now. It's hosted. You can share it with people, right? So that's there. Cool. That's how you basically push your code to a remote. So you need to add a remote, and then you need to run the command git push. By the way, again and again, you don't have to do it. And if you are confused, like why have you used this command hyphen u basically stands for upstream. And what the hell is this upstream? Upstream is very simple thing, right? When you don't have that branch available in the remote, when I'm talking about remote, I'm talking about GitHub, right? It's not available. You have to upstream it. So there's no pull before pushing, right? So there's no pull. So that's what basically hyphen u means. You don't need to pull it. You directly have to push it. I know the branch does not exist in the remote. It's me locally, and now I want to push it. So the next time you do not have to go any hassle. If you want to push something, simply say git push. Git push. As we do not have anything to push, it will say not everything is up to date. But if you have something, it will push it, right? If you have something committed, great. Now let's go to the next thing. Let's go to the next step, which is learning rebasing. So let's say you have two different branches. I'll say git checkout hyphen v feature slash uh, a. So this is my feature a, right? And I'll just go to main again, and I'll say git checkout hyphen b feature slash b. Right. So we have two different features. So I'll just say grid branch hyphen L. So we have two different branch, a feature A, a feature B, and a main. Don't look at the remote, that shows me my remote branches, but I just want to show you the local branches. Okay. So we have three different branches: feature A, feature B, and main. Let's say you developed some feature in the feature A branch. So I'll go to feature, I'll go to main, and then, oh, why did I go to main? I don't know. Feature A, right? Now I'm on feature A branch, and now I want to develop something, right? So I'll open my VS Code and I'll write some code. So let's see, after this I want to add another function. I'll call it add A and B, right? So we have another function add A and B, great. And I just committed it. So I'll add our test.js. I'll commit this. So add function, and I have done this. So I have this. I'm good. I'm awesome, right? So now mm, let's say I'll merge this to main. So git switch main, and I'll say git merge feature slash A. Awesome. Now I have that same change which I was having in the A branch, feature A branch, in the main branch, because I merged A branch with B branch, A branch with main. The problem is the B branch is still in the development, right? So I'll switch to B branch. Uh, uh, right. So I am on the B branch, and the problem is B branch is even not aware that there was a change pushed to the main, and this B branch is still not done. But this still needs to be updated with the main, right? There is a requirement that the branch needs to be updated, right? Right. How will you do that? So there's two ways. You can merge this branch with, you can branch main to this branch. That works, but there is another way. We have already learned main, so now we'll be learning about rebase. So we'll say git rebase main. So you can see successfully rebased and updated the ref, right? Great. Now we have all the changes in the B branch as well. So what this does is this takes commits, commit by commit. Remember, that's the only difference between main and merge, right? Main, merge and rebase basically. This goes commit by commit and tries to merge your changes. And if it finds a conflict, what the hell is a conflict? We'll learn about this, right? So for example, right? So let's say I go to the main branch. Okay, switch main, right? I go to the main branch and here's my function, right? I just made some changes over here. This is great. I just say console.log, hey, this is great. And I just wrote some if condition. If true, if str is equal to hello, then do something. Console log hello, something like that, right? And this is main. Remember, this is the branch on which I am is main. So I'll just say git add test.js, git commit, add with the if condition. Great. So I committed the changes on main, and now I want to go to git feature B, right? And now on the B branch. And now what I'll do is I'll make some other change. So I'll just do if B is equal to something like that. One A is one, something like that, right? So then again I'll commit this. Added another if condition. And now let's say if I want to rebase it, there's a conflict. Why there's a conflict? Because we changed the same function, same damn function. It's confused. Should it consider my code, or should it consider the code which is in there in the main? There's an issue, right? So that is what we're going to learn in this particular section, that how to resolve these conflicts. So we'll say git rebase, not origin main. See, we have a conflict, right? And the way you see a conflict is something like this. It's beautiful. So it says this is your chain, this is what we are receiving from like above, from the parent branch, right? So what do you want to keep? Do you want to keep this one, or do you want to keep this one? Select one. And it's not, you can modify this, of course. You can just modify this, copy paste the changes from the next one to this one. It's up to you. And let's say I want to keep which is in there in the main, right? So I'll just say accept current, and now the mains changes here, right? And then you're done. But remember that, you know, in rebase, after you just resolve this, you just say git rebase hyphen hyphen continue, and we have you okay. So after you resolve, it's important to add those things, right? And then hit continue. Great, successfully rebased. Add, resolve the conflicts, add it, and then rebase it. It will successfully be rebased. Great. So now the changes are rebased, and let's finally merge it to the main. But let's not merge it to the main. Let's push it to the GitHub, and let's learn how to do the merging through a PR, which is pull request. Okay. So git switch, no git switch, git push, and git push to which remote do we want to push it? We want to push it to origin. And which branch do we want to push it? We want to push it the second branch, which is feature slash B. Great, we have pushed the B branch to the remote. So let's refresh this. I don't think refreshing was required, but still, you can see we have two branches. We have main and feature slash B, the second branch we pushed, right? But we want this to be merged with the main now. So how do you do that? You simply go to the PR, which is pull request section, and it already tells us that there's a, this branch is there which has recent changes. But if you don't see this, don't worry, just click on new pull request, right, which is important. Now this section is quite interesting. This shows an arrow from this to this, which means this branch will be merged to this branch, and which the branch which we want to merge is feature B. We want to merge feature B to the main branch, and you can see all the commits which I added, you can see all the codes that I added, everything is there. Super dope stuff, right? And then what we can do is we can click on create pull request, click on this. There you go, there you go. The To create a pull request, you just have to give a message, added some stupid if conditions. There you go. Spellings already know. If you are on my channel since like some time, you already know I mess up spellings a lot. So this, trust me, this is a cool feature. If you're contributing to open source, never give messages something like this. Your PRs will be rejected and you will be sent to hell. Don't do this. Now we'll be create pull request. Great. So now we have pull request created. You can add GitHub actions to verify your code. Most of the open source, repositories have all the kinds of checks, rules, and stuff like that. So in a lot of cases, you might need to add a reviewer who can review your code. That you can do using here. You can search to all the people who are there in the project, and you can say, hey, please review my code. Please see what I've done. You can see, if you go to file change, you can see what changes have you made. So you have added all these 4 lines and you have added this new function called add. Great. And whenever you feel confident that your feature is ready and you are super dope, you can do it. You can see, you can run confirm merge. There you go, you have it merged. And I would recommend after merging any feature, please delete the branch. That's good, right? Great. So now our changes have been merged to the main branch, but the problem is it is in the remote. We don't have it locally, it's in the remote, right? The local repository, if you go to the main branch, right? If I go to the main branch, it still is the old main branch. Okay, hold on. The hell is this? Okay. It's still the main. You're getting it, right? And problem is previously we changed the main branch as well, because we merged the feature and stuff like that. So we'll be getting some conflicts when we run the command git pull. Git pull pulls the changes from the remote to your local, right? If we enter some merge conflicts, yeah, super awesome, we have some conflicts. uh, we don't have some conflicts. Awesome, we don't have some conflicts. Ah, that's great. So now you can see we kind of like successfully merged this. And now we have same changes as on remote to as a local. So now you learned how to create a PR. Now you know how to rebase stuff. Now you know how to merge stuff. Now you know how to add stuff to the Git tracking thing. Now you know how to check the status. There is something called Git log. I've taught you that as well, to check all the commits and press Q whenever you are done with stuff like that. Great. All the basics done. So are we missing something? Let me think about it. I don't think so. Hmm. Yeah, one thing we are missing, which is fork. Fork. Okay. So basically, fork is like you have some repositories, right? Let's say this is a repository, learn Git, super awesome, right? By the way, yeah. So I'll be making this public, right? So let me make this public, and I'll be providing the link below in the descriptions of this particular uh, thing. You can submit as many PRs as you want, and I'll show you how you can do that. That you can do that using fork, right? So I will go to the bottommost part is open source. Great. And what we have to do is I'll be sharing the link to this repository in the description below. Go and create as many PRs as you want and whatever code which you wish. It's up to you, right? But there will be a button called fork over here. I don't see a button fork because it's my own repository. But in your case, you will see a fork. And whenever you click a fork, this will basically create a copy of this project on your local system, on your local profile, on your GitHub profile, right? And from there, what you can do is you can make the changes and create a PR to this particular project, this where you the parent where you forked from, right? So if I go to any famous repository, let's say VS Code, I can fork this. I can click this fork, and this will create a copy of this particular project to my. For example, I'll just show you some of the repositories I have forked. Uh, you know, for example, this is one of my friend's project where he is like it's really cool. I would definitely recommend you to check it out. Open up, FBI, open up. This some command line tool. So this is a project I forked, right? See, I've clicked I've already forked it. So you can see forked from this, right? So I can create a PR uh, to probably his branch. So I'll just do it from here, right? So uh, I can copy this. I can make some changes. Then I can create a PR to that. So let's show. I'll show you, right? So I've already forked this. You can fork it in your case. I've already done it. So I'll just show you. So, right? So I'll just go to this and I'll go to local, copy the HTTP whatever link. And if you have to copy a repo from GitHub to your local machine, what you do is you just say git clone and hit paste. Oh, it's not working again. Copy and hit enter. This will basically clone that project, and I'll just go to that project and I'll make a branch which git checkout, the same step, -b feature feature slash some feature. Spelling is wrong. Don't judge me with my spellings. I told you. Okay, so I'll just make few changes. I don't have any idea about the code in this, so I'll just make a changes in README. Trust me, it's an awesome project. Right. Great. Trust me, it's an awesome project. You know it, right? And now let's quickly do all the stuff which we learned. So I will go to this. We'll just add the change. Right. We'll just commit the change. Added a cool readme line. Right. Again, I have to configure all these. You don't need to do it again and again. From in my case, I have done some settings which kind of let me. And if you want to do it globally, just use that hyphen global tag. Okay. So I'll just again go check git config user.email share gmail.com git push git push hyphen u and the name of your branch, which is again my spelling is super wrong. So where do we want to push? We want to push it to origin and features slash some effect. Now it will ask me my creds. So let's give it my creds. Now it is asking me for my password. Great, it has pushed all the changes. So now I should have this change on my this particular place. So you can see features that some feature branch has some recent changes. Do you want to create a pull request? I want to create a pull request. I would directly click over here this time. You can go and create the new pull request the same way I've mentioned before. And you can see the base repository. I can create this from this head repository to this base repository, which is cool, right? I can literally contribute to a remote branch. You can see these are cool. So from this head repository to this base repository, you can do it. Cool. The next thing what we have to do is add a comment. Trust me, this will make this repo super cool. My friend will think, what the hell is this? But let's create this. Who cares, right? And create a pull request. Now I have pull request from my base repository to that particular repository. And if you don't trust me, I can show you. Okay, so you can see this PR is created. That's it. There was a call from my sister. So that's it. That's it. That's how you create a fork a repository, create a PR to the repository. If you have any confusion, comment down below. We'll be discussing. We'll be having a chat. Okay. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye bye.